All right, I want to go back to the government funding battle in Congress and discuss what we can expect over the next 2 weeks. I believe it's going to be a bit turbulent. Joining me now to discuss this is Congressman Ben Cline, who serves on several House committees, including the Budget Committee and the Appropriations Committee. He represents the 6th Congressional District of Virginia. Congressman Cline, welcome back to Washington Watch. Thanks so much for joining us.
Tony, it's great to be with you.
All right, what the House did today, I know it's all surrounded in controversy because of the government shutdown, but quite frankly, it's a big achievement. I talked about this over the weekend on my weekend program with the House Speaker, passing 11 of the 12 separate appropriations bills. I know a couple of them were kind of bunched together, but this is something that hasn't happened in quite some time.
You're absolutely right. You know, the bar is set pretty low when regular order is what we strive for. But the American people are very frustrated with the lurching from shutdown to shutdown, from continuing resolution to continuing resolution. And so for us to be able to get 11 of the 12 done, hopefully we'll get the 12th done, is an accomplishment. But we're not going to pat ourselves on the back for just getting the basic job done of the House of Representatives. So on the Appropriations Committee, we'll continue to do the work and hopefully rein in the wasteful government spending and focus on getting rid of the woke and weaponized government that was the Biden administration.
All right, the one remaining bill, the Homeland Security, that was pulled out because of some of the controversy surrounding ICE. This doesn't just cover ICE, but it also covers agencies like TSA and FEMA. How do you see this playing out in the next 2 weeks?
Oh, well, it sounds like the deal was with the White House and the Senate Democrats to begin to negotiate about some reforms to ICE in particular. But the enforcement of our immigration laws is not something that the House is going to negotiate on when it comes to following through on the mandate of the electorate last November, when they said, or in November of 24, that they said that they wanted the border enforced and our laws enforced, and those who are here illegally, those who are dangerous criminals, repatriated to their country of origin. That's what the Homeland Security Department is doing. And so we need to encourage them to continue to do their job. And if folks want to protest and exercise their First Amendment rights, they can do that, but they shouldn't be getting in the way or somehow blocking ICE from doing their job, because that's when you have tragedies occur.
Right. Is this not a little bit, as I understand it, it appears to me that this is a lot of political posturing, because the lion's share of funding for the Department of Homeland Security, about 96% of it, was in the one big beautiful bill, if I'm not mistaken, that most of that funding was in that bill. So that funding is there. What the Democrats are, this fight they're putting up, is actually would not defund the Department of Homeland Security.
It would not. The continuing resolution will continue it for 2 weeks at existing levels, but ICE received a large amount of funding in the big beautiful bill, and that is not affected by this continuing resolution. ICE will continue to receive the resources that we directed to it earlier last year, because that's what they need to do. They need to continue to do their job of enforcing our immigration laws. And we'll look at ways that we can improve that process. I'm on the Judiciary Committee as well, and so we'll talk about ways that federal law enforcement can continue to enforce the laws in a way that respects the Constitution and the people who are impacted by that. But we're not going to stop enforcing our laws here in this country just because the Democrats don't want to.
Congressman Cline, I've been around for a while, and I can remember when there was a lot of bipartisan support for a lot of things. In fact, almost everything had bipartisan support. Now, bipartisan support is rare. It's the exception, not the rule. Our nation is, I mean, you look at the headlines on any given day, and there is so much going on here in America and around the world. It's clear that we have a lot that we need to pray about. And this week, there's a couple of prayer events going on. I'm going to be talking about one a little bit later, the National Gathering for Prayer and Repentance. But and you'll be there. You'll be a part of that. But also, we have the National Prayer Breakfast on Thursday, which you are co-hosting. I'm scheduled to be there. Speak to the need for prayer at this time as our nation enters into this celebratory year of 250 years.
Well, we know that our nation was founded 250 years ago on Judeo-Christian principles, and the idea of prayer for our nation, prayer for our leaders, prayer for those with whom we agree and those with whom we disagree is a critical part of that big melting pot that is the United States. And so coming together in prayer is something that's been done since the first Congress. You have paintings of the first Congress being led in prayer, all different faiths participating, and that continues. And then about 75 years ago, under President Eisenhower, he remarked about the loneliness of the Capitol, and so members of Congress began to go to the White House and pray with him and for our leaders. And that eventually developed into the National Prayer Breakfast held at the Hilton Hotel up in Washington. It's the biggest ballroom in the city. 5,000 of your closest friends from all around the world who come together to pray for our nation, pray for our president. President Trump will be there. Speaker Johnson will be there. And my co-host, Jonathan Jackson, Jesse Jackson's son, will be my co-host, and we will together pray for this nation and pray for our leaders to come together and work to solve the nation's problems. I also look forward to your event tomorrow, this breakfast for prayer and reconciliation. It is so important to come together. I look forward to participating and seeing you there as well.
Well, we look forward to seeing you as well, Congressman Cline, and thanks so much for joining us today.